Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the TryFan879 YouTube channel, where, as many of you know, I have been replaying the 2016 Minnesota Twins season using Strat Advanced. Today is game 122 between the visiting Minnesota Twins and the home team Kansas City Royals. On the mound today for the Twins is Jose Berrios, and on the mound for the Royals is Edinson Volquez. All right, we'll just go ahead and get started. One change I am going to make, I'm going to roll the 20-sided die to try to make this a little bit more expedient. All right, leading off for the Twins, playing second base is Brian Dozier. 1-6. Oh, he just misses the triple. That's a 2 on the 20. He needed a 1. So Dozier flies out to center field. Nice running catch. Or else that could have gone, all the way to the wall, and Dozier would have been running forever, almost. All right, here's a shortstop, Jorge Polanco, with 1 out. 6-9, and against a lefty, that's a strikeout, sorry. So Polanco goes down on strikes, and there are 2 outs here in the top of the first with no score. And here is the first baseman, Joe Mauer, 4-9 against a lefty, and that's a strikeout. So Volquez proving tough on lefties. And so the Twins go 1-2-3 here in the top half of the first, and we go to the bottom of the first with the Twins nothing and the Royals coming to bat. And leading off for the Royals, the center fielder, Jarrod Dyson. Now, the 20-sided die will not be used for X chances. I will re-roll for X chances. 4-8 against a lefty. That's a walk. And that's not good news if you're Twins fans. Let me see if the double A only gets a -1. No, triple A only gets the -1. But -2, that's wiped away from with Centeno's arm. So he's 1-17. He's taken off. The throw to second. And he is in there. That's a 7. Dyson steals second. And now batting is Chesler Cuthbert, playing third base with a runner on second and nobody out. 6-8, and that's a walk, so that's not the worst result ever. Now runners on second and third, and here's first and second with Lorenzo Cain up. They're holding both runners. 1-6, base hit left field. Dyson hits third. Santana's a 0 arm. He gets -1 for holding. They're going to send him. It's 1-16. The throw to the plate, and he is out. That's an 18. So Santana charges, throws home, and gets Dyson for the first out of the inning. Wow. Okay, so Cuthbert does move to second, but we'll see if that maybe jumpstarts Berrios here. Here's Eric Hosmer, the first baseman. Lorenzo Cain playing right field today. 1-7, nope, and that's a 6. And that gets ripped into the gap, and that'll go all the way to the wall. Rounding third and heading home is Cuthbert. Cain will hit second and be held at third as the throw comes in, and the Royals take a 1-0 lead. As there are runners on second and third with 1 out. And here's Kendrys Morales, the designated hitter. 5-8 lefty, and that's a walk. Wow. Berrios does not quite have it today, so that's bases loaded with 1 out. And here's Salvador Perez, the catcher. 3-8, and he goes down on strikes, and that's the second out. So this would be a Houdini act if Berrios can only give up 1 run. But here's Alex Gordon. 3-11, And not so much of a Houdini act. He watches ball 4 go by. Cain scores. Hosmer to third. Morales to second. And on the 4th walk of the inning, a second run scores. And here's Alcides Escobar, the shortstop. The 8th man to bat in the inning. 3-7 and a 19, and that's a base hit. Hosmer scores easily. Morales rounds third. He will score. And Alex Gordon moves to third. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4 runs in the inning. And here is Adalberto, a.k.a. Raul Mondesi Jr. 5-10, and that's a strikeout. So the Royals bat around here in the bottom half of the first, and they get 4. And so after 1 inning, it's the Royals 4, the Twins nothing. Sorry, I'm doing my best not to do that Pulp Fiction thing with Royals. All right, and now batting is Trevor Plouffe. He's playing third base today. 6-7, and that's a 3. And that's a base hit in the gap. That'll get down and get all the way to the wall. Plouffe goes to second standing, and the Twins have a leadoff double. And here's Max Kepler. 6-8, lefty. And Kepler goes down swinging. And that's the first out of the inning with the runner on second and 1 out. And here's Miguel Sano, the designated hitter. 1-7, and that's a 10. So that's a ground ball to the shortstop. He looks Plouffe back, throws to first, and that's 2 down here in the top half of the second, with the Royals leading 4-0. 4-3 against the lefty. And that's a base hit to center, base hit to left field. Plouffe was not being held on, so that's 11. He gets a +2. He's off at the crack of the bat. 1-13. The left fielder is Alex Gordon. He's a -3. So that takes him down to a 50-50. And they will just hold right there. They're not going to take that chance. Down 4-0. So Eddie Rosario squeaks a single through, and that'll bring up Juan Centeno, the backup catcher. 3-4, and that's a weak ground ball to the shortstop. That's Escobar over to Hosmer, and that retires the side as the Twins go down here in the second. And after 1.5, it's the Royals 4 and the Twins nothing. And Berrios will be on a short leash. They will have Pat Dean loosening in the pen. He's the de facto long man. So there's Pat Dean. He didn't pitch all that much. He pitched the final inning, but he's a sometimes starter, so he can go. 6-7 lefty. That's a strikeout, so better way to start the second inning for Berrios. Here is Cheslor Cuthbert. 6-10. That's to the third baseman. That's Plouffe. He's a 3. 13, is that in range? No, it's not. So we will go to his air rating. He is an E17. He will need a 7 to 10 or a 12. That's a 10. That's a nice diving stop by Plouffe. Gets up, throws to first, and gets Cuthbert by a step. And that's the second out of the inning, and the bottom half of the second inning. 2 outs, nobody on, with the Royals leading 4-0. 3-4 against a righty. That's a ground ball to Dozier over to Maurer. And the Royals go in order in the second inning. And your score after 2 complete is the Royals 4 and the Twins nothing. And Edinson Volquez will face the left fielder Danny Santana for 6 against the lefty. That's a walk. So Volquez walks the leadoff batter. Santana's not really a threat to steal, and with Salvador Perez's arm, he ain't going nowhere. So they will not hold him on. So here's Brian Dozier. For 10, that's to the third baseman. That's Cuthbert. He's a 3. 12 will not get the job done. He is an E21. So that will mean he has to get a 7. Nope. 21 third baseman. 8 to 12. And that's a 6th. And he lets the ball, bobbles it, gets the ball, bobbles it, and cannot recover. And E5, not E6. So everybody is safe on the error by Cuthbert. And that puts runners on first and second with nobody out. And here is Jorge Polanco. 2-8. Line smash right to Hosmer, and everybody gets back. So a screaming line drive by Jorge Polanco, but right at Hosmer, and that's the first out of the inning. Here's Joe Mauer. 3-6, and that's a base hit. Rounding third and heading home is Santana. He will score. Dozier hits second. He will go to third and stop there. And Joe Mauer has driven in the Twins' first run. And the score is now 4-1 Royals. And that brings up Trevor Plouffe with 1 out and runners on the corners. 6-7. And that's an 8. And, it's just cut off. But the wheels will keep on turning. Scoring from third is Dozier. Hitting second and going to third is Mauer. And the Twins have something cooking here in the third inning. And that brings up Max Kepler. And this, as the Twins have cut the deficit in half, it's now 4-2. 6-2. That's to the right fielder. That is Lorenzo Cain. He's a 1. And a 9. No. So that'll mean he's an E5. E5 and a 9. Racing back, he makes the catch. However, that's deep enough to score Mauer. And the Twins have brought this within 1. They've scored 3 runs in the inning and now only trail 4-3. And that is the second out of the inning with a runner on first for Miguel Sano. 2-9, and that's a strikeout. So Sano is 0 for 2 on the day. However, the Twins roar back with 3 runs in the third inning. And after 2.5 complete, it's the Royals 4 and the Twins 3. And here's Eric Hosmer against Berrios. 6-7 against the lefty. That's a strikeout, so Berrios is bearing down. 2-7. And that's an 8, so that's a base hit to the gap. That's cut off. So they will hold Morales to a single. And the Royals have a base runner with 1 out for Salvador Perez. They will not hold Kendrys Morales on. 3-3. That's to Sano, or to Plouffe. Over to Dozier, on to Mauer, and that's 2. And so Berrios ends the inning on a on a Salvador Perez double play ball, and we go to the top half of the fourth with the Twins trailing 4-3. And here is the center fielder, Eddie Rosario. 4-6 against the lefty. That's a walk. So Edinson Volquez having some issues here. And here is Juan Centeno, the back catcher. He's 0 for 1 on the day. 3-7, and his only one that's bad on the 3 column. That's a fly ball to medium deep left field. That is caught by Alex Gordon. That's 1 away, and that brings up the bottom of the order with Danny Santana. 5-10 against a lefty. That's a fly ball to medium deep left field. That's also caught by Gordon, and that's 2 aways. We go back to the top of the order with Brian Dozier. 6-8, and that's a fly ball to medium deep center field. And racing over is Dyson to make the play, and that ends the 4th inning, top half of the 4th inning, with the Royals still clinging to a 4-3 lead. And here is Berrios. He will face Alex Gordon to lead off the bottom half of the 4th inning. He walked his last time up. 4-4. That's to the center fielder. That's Rosario. 9 is just out of range. And E8 means he has to get a 7-10. Nope. That's a 6, and that's a 2-base error for Eddie Rosario. So, shoddy defense, must have lost it in the sun, and they call it an error. And here's Alcides Escobar with a runner on second. 5-7, and Berrios with the walk. So that puts runners on first and second for Adalberto Mondesi. 2-9, and that's a strikeout. So Berrios gets Mondesi swinging, and that's 1 out in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And here comes Gerard Dyson, 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. 3-7. Ground ball right back to the box. The second for 1 out. On to first and not nearly in time as Dyson's speedy self beats that out. Gordon moves to third on the fielder's choice, and that puts runners on the corners, but there are 2 outs with the Royals hanging on to a 4-3 lead. And here's Chester Cuthbert. 2-7, and he goes down on strikes. So Cuthbert's 0 for 2 today with the walk. And we go to the top half of the 5th inning with the score: the Royals 4, the Twins 3. And Volquez will come out for the 5th inning, and he will face Jorge Polanco, Joe Mauer, and Trevor Plouffe. 4-6, and against the lefty, that's a walk. So Volquez will be lucky to get out of the 5th with this at this rate. 6-7 against the lefty, and that's a 20. So Mauer rips one. It falls down. The center fielder gets over to cut it off. However, that doesn't mean that Polanco won't stop at second. He'll go to third and get there standing. And the Twins have runners on first and third with nobody out, and they will bring the infield in. The Royals will. And here's Trevor Plouffe. 4-6, and Plouffe goes down on strikes. So that's a big first out if you're a Royals fan. And this brings up Max Kepler with the infield still in. Kepler 0 for 1 on the day with a big sacrifice fly, and the Twins wouldn't mind another one of those. Okay, that's a 2-5. And once again, Volquez bears down and throws another heater past Kepler. And the infield will go back to its normal depth as they will face Miguel Sano with 2 outs and 2 on. Oops. Foul ball. 1-9. And that is high, deep, and into the fountains. Miguel Sano has just put the Twins ahead 6-4. And here come the Boo Birds from the Kauffman Stadium crowd. And for sure, if Volquez gets this last out, that'll be it for him. And here's Eddie Rosario. Foul ball. Dice jumped the shark, literally. Okay, Gigio, I hear you. 6-5. That's to the shortstop. That's Escobar. 11 won't get the job done. He has an E14. So he will need a 6-11. That's an 8. That's a good enough. So that ends the top half of the 5th, but a 2-out, 3-run homer by Miguel Sano gets the Twins a 6-4 lead. And that'll be it for Volquez. They've already extended their bullpen a lot. Chris Young will have to come in again. All right, Berrios will at least try to get through the 5th. And this is his point of weakness. So, Berrios, if he controls himself, might be in line for a win. But we'll see what happens here first. 5-5. That goes to the shortstop. That's Jorge Polanco. He's a 4. But an 18 will get the job done. So that's a 6-3 putout and a nice play by Jorge Polanco. And that'll bring up Eric Hosmer. 6-7 against the lefty and right 3. And that's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th with the Twins leading 6-4. 4-8 against the lefty. That's a good old 1-20 walk. So Kendrys Morales draws his second walk of the day. He is 1 for 1 officially. And here is Salvador Perez. Pat Dean is ready when needed, and they may need him for Alex Gordon. So this will probably be the last batter for Berrios. 4-4 to the center fielder. That's Rosario. 3-2. That's not going to get it done. No, it will not. That's a double over his head. That will, however, Morales being a little slow, only gets him to third. Oops. 7, 6. Okay, so then that will bring up Alex Gordon. All right, they'll try with 2 outs for Gordon. 6-8 to a lefty. That's a walk. That'll load the bases, and that's it for Berrios. Much as Molitor hates to do this, he has to because, I mean, bases loaded, and he's faced 25 batters. So here's Alcides Escobar with Pat Dean coming into the game. So it looks like it might be a battle of long relievers today. 4-6 against the righty. That's a base hit to center field. In to score is Morales. Perez will actually be 9, not being held on 10. 2 outs is 12. 1-11. They will they'll hold him there. Third base coach getting a little bit of slack, but you're not going to send the catcher. All right, and here is Raul Mondesi. 2 outs and the bases loaded. 1-6. Been great with 1 out, but not with 2 outs. That's a fly ball to center field. And that takes care of business here in the bottom half of the 5th. However, the Royals scratch a run across. And after 5 complete, it's the Twins 6 and the Royals 5. And Chris Young will come in for Edinson Volquez. Okay, we'll face Centeno, Santana, and Dozier. One 6 against a righty. However, that's an 11, so ranging over is Mondesi to get that. Throws to first, and that's the first out here in the top half of the 6th. And here's Danny Santana. 3-10. And against a righty, that's an 18, so that'll get cut off. But not until Santana reaches with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. And that brings up Brian Dozier. They will not hold on. 5-5, that's to the shortstop. Escobar ranges over. Flips to second for 1. On to first, and that's 2. So we'll call that 6-4-3. And the Royals are out of the inning. Or the Twins are out of the inning, I should say, here in the top half of the 6th. And your score going into the bottom half of the 6th, the Twins 6 and the Royals 5. And they will let Pat Dean come out for another inning of work. He got the final out in the bottom half of the 5th. They will get Ryan Presley and Taylor Rogers loosening in the pen. One 5, and that's against the lefty. That's a ground ball to Dozier over to first, and that's 1 away. And here is Chesler Cuthbert. 2-8. Strike 3. And that brings up Lorenzo Cain. 3-2 against the lefty, and that's a walk. And the Royals will not take the bat out of Hosmer's hands. He has the ability to pop one. And here is Eric Hosmer against Pat Dean. Lefty-lefty matchup. Hosmer 1 for 3 on the day with 2 strikeouts. However, Hosmer will get the better of this one. 6-7. And that's ripped into the gap, and it goes all the way to the wall. Hitting second, going to third, and the third base coach puts up the stop sign. And Hosmer will get held. And, okay, so, and that's enough for, let's see here. They will bring on Ryan Presley to face Kendrys Morales. Here in the bottom of the 6th. 1-4, right back to the mound. Presley jogs it over, throws it to first, and that's the final out here in the bottom of the 6th. The Royals strand 2. And we go to the top half of the 7th with the score, the Twins 6 and the Royals 5. Chris Young will stay in the game. However, they will have Peter Moylan and Joaquim Soria loosening in the pen. And that brings up Jorge Polanco. He is 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. 4-7 against a lefty. That's ripped into the gap. That's cut off. And Polanco hits the bag and goes back to first, but a leadoff single by Jorge Polanco. And that'll bring up Joe Mauer. And all right, actually no. Yost has seen enough. They will go to the Mexicutioner, Joaquim Soria. It's a little better against lefties than a few of these guys here are. So that means we will bring in Soria. So Young goes an inning. And this is Soria against Mauer. 1-5. And that's a ground ball to Escobar. Over to Mondesi. Over to Hosmer. And that's 2. So one pitch gets 2 outs for Joaquim Soria. And that'll bring up Trevor Plouffe. 6-8. Strike 3. And Plouffe has gone down his second time on strikes. And we go to the bottom half of the 7th. Up on your feet. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root for the Royals. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. All right, Ryan Presley will stay in the game after that quick poor singing interlude. He got the last out of the 6th inning, and he'll stay on to pitch the 7th. 2-6, and that's a ground ball from Polanco over to Mauer, 1 away. And here is Alex Gordon. Don't call me the commissioner. 4-9. Against the lefty, that's a walk. So that brings up Alcides Escobar. And the Twins of the Royals are thinking about doing something here. We'll see what happens. 3-9, and that's a strikeout. And they will leave Mondesi, and they were thinking about bringing on Christian Colon, but with 2 outs and a runner on first, they'll just let him stay on the bench. 3-4, and Mondesi goes down swinging. So we go to the top half of the 8th with the Twins leading 6-5. Soria may stay in for one more batter. Let's see here. Lefty. Okay, so then they will go to Moylan and then go to Strom. Well, that only leaves me 2 pitchers. Woof. Or 3 pitchers. Let's see. Do we want to go to... No, we don't want to go to Moylan now. All right, so Soria will stay on and at least face the next batter, maybe the next 2. So here is Max Kepler leading off the top of the 8th. 6-11, and Kepler goes down on strikes. And that'll bring up Miguel Sano. He's about equal from both sides. So they will keep Soria in. Sano homered his last time up. That gave the Twins the lead. 2-6, and that's a strikeout. So, actually, they will now call on Matt Strahm to finish off the 8th inning. That's an inning and 2/3 for Soria. So, it's probably the longest he's gone in a while. So, they will bring on Strahm to hopefully finish off the top of the 7th. He'll face Eddie Rosario. Rosario is 1 for 2 on the day with a walk. 6-10, and he goes down swinging. So the Royals pitching strikes out the side here in the top of the 8th. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. The Royals trail 6-5. And Presley will be pulled for Taylor Rogers, quickly becoming one of the Twins' more reliable bullpen people. Now watch, he gives up a whole bunch of runs here. Brandon Kinsler is loosening in the pen in case they need him in the 9th. All right, so Dyson against Rogers. 6-10 against the lefty. That's a shallow fly ball to right. And nice running catch coming in for Max Kepler. And here is Chesler Cuthbert. 1-3 against the lefty. That's a fly ball to right field. That is caught by Kepler. That's 2 away. And here is Lorenzo Cain. 1-4. Ground ball to Plouffe. Over to Mauer. And Rogers sets down the Royals 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 8th. And we go to the top half of the 9th inning, where the Twins lead 6-5, and Matt Strahm will not be pitching to Twins batters. They will bring in, they'll bring in Herrera. He hasn't pitched all series yet. Actually, no, not yet. We still have a couple more games this series. Brian Flynn will come out and pitch the inning here. All right, so he'll face Centeno, Santana, and Dozier. So Brian Flynn will hopefully not go to the arcade today and remember to go pitching. 6-6 against the lefty. That's a single to 13, but that's a 16, so that's a nice play by Escobar over to Hosmer, and that's 1 away. And here is Danny Santana. 6-7 against the lefty. That's a walk. So that puts the 1-out base runner on first base. And here's Brian Dozier. 4-6 against the righty. That's a ground ball to Escobar, over to Mondesi, over to Hosmer, and that's 2. And that's the second double play that Dozier is hit into today. And that ends the top half of the 9th inning, and we go to the bottom of the 9th. Kinsler time for the Twins as they lead 6-5. And the Twins will the Twins be making some defensive changes here? Yeah. Yes, they will. They will bring Eduardo Escobar in to play shortstop. And then he will take over for Jorge Polanco, who's actually going to lead off that inning. So, All right, so Polanco gets pulled for better defensive fielder at short. A 3 instead of a 4. And here is Kinsler. Okay, so Kinsler will face Hosmer, Morales, and Perez. So the heart of the order for the Royals. 5-6 against the lefty. That's a fly ball to center field. That's caught by Rosario. So good start for Kinsler. And that brings up Kendrys Morales, the designated hitter. 4-5 against the lefty. And that ball is high, deep, and only thing that Rosario can do is watch it go. So Kendrys Morales with a 1-out game-tying home run. And the game is now tied at 6. So Kinsler blows a save. And here is Salvador Perez. 6-6 against a righty. That's a ground ball to the shortstop. That's Escobar over to Mauer, and that's 1 away. And here is Alex Gordon. 5-9. That's a ground ball to first base. Mauer takes to the bag himself. And with a run in the bottom of the 9th, we're going to bonus baseball. And I try to hurry up and get this done. I may have to kind of stop this. All right. Flynn will probably have to pitch. What did he do? He went the full. He was gone an inning of the 3rd. Yep, they'll let him go. He'll face Escobar, Mauer, and Plouffe here in the 10th inning. 6-6. And that's a 1-3, 1-2, and that's a 3. So a nice diving stop by Cuthbert over to Hosmer, and that's a great play. So 1 away here in the top half of the 10th. 3-7 against the lefty. That's a ground ball to Hosmer. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that's 2 away in the top of the 10th. 4-6 against the righty. That's a ground ball to the shortstop. Alcides Escobar over to Hosmer. And that's it for the top half of the 10th. We go to the bottom of the 10th. And the score is still tied at 6. Let's see here. We're going to have Michael Tonkin come in. And this is usually not very good news. But they're almost out of pitchers. So Tonkin will have to go a little bit here. So Tonkin will face Escobar. We'll probably get Colon to bat now here in the 10th. Or 5. Okay, so Tonkin facing Escobar here in the bottom of the 10th. 1-4, and that's a ground ball to first base. Mauer to the bag himself, and Raul Mondesi is getting called back. Christian Colon will now bat and play second base for the Royals. 1-3. High pop foul behind home plate. Centeno throws off the mask, and that's 2 away here in the bottom of the 10th. And here is Gerard Dyson. 2-10 against a righty, and that's a 5, so that's a base hit for Dyson. And with the 1-15, or 1-17, he will take off. That's an 11. That's another stolen base. Does he want to try to steal third? It'd be 1-11. No. They'll let Cuthbert try to drive him in. Here's the pitch to Cuthbert. 2-6. Ground ball right back to the mound. Tonkin over to Mauer, and that's it for the 10th inning. And, okay, I still have enough time probably. All right, so we'll go to the top half of the 11th. Flynn has pitched 2 1/3 innings, so they will take him out. And that will bring in Chin-Ming Wong to face Max Kepler, Miguel Sano, and Eddie Rosario here in the top half of the 11th. 3-10. Ooh. That's a fly ball to medium deep left. That's caught by Gordon. And that's one away here in the top half of the 11th. Here's Miguel Sano. 4-3 to right field. That's Cain. He's a 1-16. That should... Yeah. Okay, so that's a good play by Cain. Right field. 2 away here in the top half of the 11th. 5-7 against the lefty. That's a ground ball to second base. That's Cologne over to Hosmer. And the Twins are gone here in the top half of the 11th. We go to the bottom half of the 11th. Tonkin will stay on. They have only have Ryan O'Rourke and JT Chagua left, so don't know how much longer. If this goes past 13, we might start using bench players to pitch. All right, so here's Lorenzo Cain. 1-8 base hit for Tonkin. And